In 2026, a new generation of Israeli weapons quietly enters service, reshaping how wars are fought, defended, and decided. And by the end, you'll see why this shift terrifies military planners worldwide. At number 12. Negev UX is a light machine gun built for moments when control of ground decides survival. This weapon appears simple, which is why its impact is underestimated. The shock is not in novelty, but in how fast chaos bends around it. It is designed to dominate infantry engagements without slowing movement. With an effective reach of 0.5 miles, it presses danger farther than most squad weapons. Its gas-operated heart drives a relentless rhythm of 650 to 850 rounds per minute that reshapes space instantly. The 3.6 feet profile keeps it maneuverable in tight terrain while still commanding open ground. Unveiled in 2025, it reflects lessons pulled directly from modern close combat. The estimated cost of $6,000 means it can be fielded everywhere, not sparingly. This is not a showpiece weapon. It is a force multiplier that turns numbers into pressure. The standout feature is how suppression becomes psychological dominance rather than raw destruction. Another edge is reliability under dust, heat, and stress, where failure costs lives. Picture a narrow alley where one operator freezes an entire approach with controlled fire. The weapon does not chase targets, it denies them movement. This shifts squad tactics from reaction to control. How does warfare change when every unit can lock down terrain instantly? Its strategic value lies in scaling lethality without escalating logistics. History shows wars are often decided by infantry holding ground. This system ensures that ground stays contested on favorable terms. It does not scream innovation, but it quietly enforces it. The emotional weight is survival through overwhelming presence. Every burst buys seconds, and seconds save lives. The sound alone can end a fight before it peaks. This is the foundation layer beneath all advanced systems, yet the battlefield is moving upward and outward. That is where the next system breaks free from the ground and hunts from above. Sliding into number 11. Firestorm is an armed drone that compresses strike power into a deceptively small silhouette. The tension here is not speed, but intent. It exists to appear without warning and vanish before response. With a maximum reach of 3.1 miles, it operates just beyond immediate human reaction. Its electric motors push it to 31 miles per hour quietly, almost patiently. The estimated length of 3.3 feet makes it difficult to track until it commits. Unveiled in 2025, it represents the normalization of expendable airstrikes. The estimated price of $100,000 reframes what commanders are willing to risk. The standout feature is precision without pilot exposure. Another is how silence becomes a tactical weapon. Imagine a rooftop threat identified seconds before engagement and erased without escalation. This drone does not dominate airspace, it punctures moments. The psychological effect is knowing danger can arrive without sound or warning. Is deterrence weaker or stronger when attacks leave no visible footprint? Its strategic importance lies in bridging surveillance and lethal action seamlessly. This compresses the kill chain into a single decision. It also lowers political and operational thresholds for action. This system favors speed of choice over massive force. The emotional stakes revolve around invisibility and inevitability. Operators see everything, targets see nothing. That imbalance changes behavior on the ground. Warfare becomes more cautious, more paranoid, and more fragmented. This is no longer air power reserved for major battles. It is air power folded into daily operations, but endurance and reach still limit such systems. That limit fractures at the next level where the sky itself becomes persistent territory. At number 10, the ranking accelerates with Arok VTOL, which redefines how long control can be held without interruption. The opening danger is endurance rather than impact. This drone is designed to outlast decisions and exhaust defenses. With an estimated operational reach of 124 miles, it stretches presence deep into contested space. Its hybrid propulsion combining electric systems with jet fuel engines sustains flights exceeding 20 hours. The estimated top speed of 62 miles per hour favors persistence over pursuit. The estimated length of 13 feet gives it the stability needed for long missions. Unveiled in 2025, it signals a shift from short sorties to continuous dominance. The estimated cost of $2 million reflects strategic rather than tactical intent. The standout feature is vertical takeoff paired with operational endurance. Another is how surveillance becomes uninterrupted narrative rather than snapshots. Imagine borders watched overnight with no blind gaps as patterns reveal themselves. Here is the rehook moment where warfare slows down just to suffocate opposition. Endurance removes the enemy's ability to wait you out. How do you hide when the sky never blinks? This system turns time into a weapon by denying recovery cycles. Its value lies in fusing intelligence and presence seamlessly. It reshapes planning because movement itself becomes detectable. The emotional weight is pressure without contact. A force that never leaves alters behavior before shots are fired. This drone does not strike often, but when it does, it knows everything. This represents a shift from reaction to anticipation. But persistence still requires patience, and patience becomes lethal when combined with systems that wait to kill. That escalation begins with a weapon that does not just watch, but stalks. Dropping in at number 9. Spy-X is a loitering munition built around the art of waiting. This weapon creates tension through silence and delay rather than speed. With a maximum range of 31 miles, it circles beyond immediate reach. Its electric motor allows a dash speed of 155 miles per hour, only when the moment arrives. The estimated length of 5.2 feet keeps its profile minimal against the sky. Unveiled in 2023, it matured through observation before deployment. The estimated unit cost of $100,000 balances patience with expendability. The standout feature is autonomous loitering that turns hesitation into vulnerability. Another is how choice becomes pressure on the target. Imagine a convoy paused too long as the sky decides their fate. This munition does not chase, it judges. Time itself becomes the trigger. What happens to decision-making when delay is punished instantly? Its strategic role is area denial without constant engagement. It forces movement errors rather than brute destruction. The emotional stakes are dread and uncertainty. This weapon changes tempo by stretching moments until they snap. History shows that fear of the unseen often breaks forces faster than firepower. This system weaponizes that principle with modern autonomy. It also signals a future where waiting is more dangerous than running. The battlefield becomes a space of invisible timers. As the countdown tightens, the next system pushes loitering beyond ground launch limits and into an even more unpredictable dimension. At number 8, Hero 120 aerial launch variant arrives as a loitering munition designed to be released from the sky rather than the ground. The opening shock is that altitude itself becomes the first weapon. This system exists to erase safe distances and protected angles. Once airborne, its purpose is to hunt with patience before striking with certainty. Its reach stretches to 37 miles, turning distant targets into immediate concerns. When the dive begins, it accelerates to 124 miles per hour with quiet intent. An electric motor keeps the approach discreet until commitment is irreversible. The 5.9 feet body is compact enough to disappear against terrain and cloud. Unveiled in 2025, it reflects a shift toward launch flexibility over platform dependency. The estimated price of $200,000 reframes precision as expendable. The standout feature is aerial release, which multiplies angles of attack instantly. Another defining edge is how launch aircraft remain far outside danger. This creates layered lethality without exposing pilots. Picture a patrol aircraft cruising calmly as a threat below never hears the release. Seconds later, the sky delivers a verdict without warning. This weapon punishes assumptions about cover and distance. Terrain masking loses value when attacks descend vertically. How do defenders adapt when threats arrive from unexpected vectors? Its strategic meaning lies in compressing response time to near zero. Decisions must be perfect because there is no second chance. The emotional weight is shock, followed by silence. Units under threat hesitate, knowing the sky may already be watching. This system also signals a future where launch platforms matter less than positioning. Control shifts from hardware to geometry. Every engagement becomes three-dimensional. The battlefield ceiling effectively disappears. Commanders gain options without increasing footprint. That flexibility reshapes planning and deterrence. The danger now feels omnipresent rather than directional. This is where air and ground combat truly merge. Precision becomes portable. Survival depends on anticipation rather than reaction. Yet patience alone is not the end of escalation. The next system trades waiting for raw speed. That transition pulls us straight into a missile built to end armor dominance. At number 7, Lahat Alpha steps in as an anti-tank missile that turns distance into dominance from the first second. The tension is immediate because armor no longer controls engagement range. This system exists to destroy heavy platforms before they can even identify the threat. Its reach extends to 12.4 miles, forcing armored units to fear unseen launch points. Once fired, it accelerates to an estimated 1,243 miles per hour, with no opportunity to react. A solid rocket propulsion system delivers instant commitment and lethal momentum. The 6.6 feet missile body keeps it compatible across multiple launch platforms. Unveiled in 2025, it reflects a battlefield where precision outruns protection. The estimated cost of $50,000 allows widespread deployment without strategic strain. The standout feature is long-range armor kill without exposure. Another defining edge is how speed collapses decision-making windows. Imagine a tank formation advancing confidently before impact arrives from beyond sight. This is the rehook moment where armor doctrine begins to fracture. How do armored forces maneuver when distance no longer protects them? Strategically, this missile denies freedom of movement rather than territory. The emotional weight is vulnerability inside the strongest machines. Crews realize armor no longer guarantees survival. Battlefields stretch wider, yet feel more claustrophobic. Mobility becomes hesitation. Hesitation becomes loss. And this pressure only intensifies as warfare climbs further into the air. At number 6, point blank arrives as a loitering munition that collapses air power into a single soldier's reach. The danger spikes immediately because authority to strike no longer sits far away. This system exists to deliver instant aerial lethality at the tactical edge. It operates across a maximum range of 6.2 miles, well beyond direct line-of-sight threats. When committed, it accelerates to 178 miles per hour with sudden aggression. Electric propellers keep signatures low until the final approach. The compact 3-foot body allows true man-portable deployment without vehicles. Unveiled in 2023, it reflects a shift toward decentralized precision warfare. The estimated cost of $100,000 balances expendability with decisive effect. The standout feature is how launch authority drops to squad level. Another defining edge is speed of decision rather than raw firepower. Imagine a patrol pinned down as the sky answers within moments. This is the rehook where warfare compresses into seconds instead of minutes. How does command structure change when infantry owns airstrikes? Strategically, this reshapes small unit dominance and responsiveness. The emotional stakes rest on empowerment mixed with irreversible choice. Training becomes survival doctrine rather than formality. Mistakes carry immediate consequence. Success ends fights early. The battlefield shrinks as reaction time disappears. Yet, decentralization invites new countermeasures. That escalation pulls us toward weapons designed to defend entire regions rather than single units. At number 5, Airborne Iron Beam emerges as a laser weapon that flips air defense from interception to erasure. The tension is immediate because this system fires at the speed of physics itself. It exists to neutralize threats before reaction even becomes possible. Its effective engagement range reaches an estimated 6.2 miles around the protected platform. Once activated, the beam travels at 186,282 miles per second, leaving zero evasion window. An electric-powered laser replaces missiles with sustained energy. The pod-based architecture measures roughly 10 feet, allowing airborne deployment. Unveiled in 2025, it marks the leap from ground lasers to mobile defense. The estimated system cost of $50 million signals high-value asset protection. The standout feature is near-limitless engagements without reload. Another defining edge is precision interception without debris or secondary damage. Imagine incoming rockets vanishing mid-flight before pilots register the threat. This is the rehook moment where defense finally outruns offense entirely. When light becomes a shield, timing no longer matters. How do attackers adapt when saturation loses meaning? Strategically, this protects aircraft formations, critical infrastructure, and command nodes. The emotional stakes are control and confidence in contested skies. Adversaries must rethink volume-based attacks. Airspace becomes a managed equation rather than chaos. This system shifts wars toward power generation and targeting intelligence. But airborne lasers are only part of the shield. The next layer expands protection across entire regions. At number 4, Iron Beam 450 is a ground-based laser weapon built to guard wide areas before threats ever reach impact. The opening tension is simple because if this fails, nothing else matters. This system exists to erase incoming danger faster than human reaction. Its effective engagement zone stretches to an estimated 6.2 miles around protected assets. When activated, the beam travels at 186,282 miles per second, leaving no interception window. Electric-powered laser architecture removes dependence on interceptor stockpiles. The roughly 15 feet director concentrates power with surgical precision. Unveiled in 2025, it marks the moment laser defense moved from theory to shield. An estimated cost of $100 million reflects regional-scale protection. The standout feature is sustained fire against repeated threats without reload pauses. Another defining edge is how response time collapses to zero. Imagine a coordinated rocket volley dissolving mid-air before alarms complete their cycle. This is the rehook moment where defense finally outpaces offense. Airspace becomes geometry instead of chaos. What happens to deterrence when attacks no longer guarantee impact? Strategically, this system preserves cities' infrastructure and morale simultaneously. The emotional stakes are survival without escalation. Adversaries are forced toward saturation or abandonment. Planning shifts from reaction to permanence. Yet even this shield strains against faster threats rising beyond the atmosphere. At number 3, Sonic is a hypersonic interceptor designed to meet extreme speed with even faster response. The danger escalates because this battle happens in seconds, not minutes. This system exists to stop threats once thought unstoppable. Its interception reach extends to an estimated 186 miles across defended airspace. Driven by solid rocket propulsion, it accelerates beyond conventional limits. Peak velocity climbs to roughly 6,214 miles per hour, compressing engagement windows. The estimated length of 26 feet allows stability at hypersonic regimes. Unveiled in 2023, it signaled preparation for the next era of missile warfare. An estimated unit cost of $20 million reflects strategic tier deployment. The standout feature is speed matching speed rather than chasing aftermath. Another is precision guidance under extreme thermal stress. Picture a hypersonic glide vehicle detected and neutralized before trajectory correction. Here the rehook hits because interception finally catches innovation. Speed no longer guarantees penetration. Can offense adapt when velocity advantage disappears? Strategically, this preserves deterrence credibility against advanced adversaries. The emotional weight is relief under invisible countdowns. Commanders regain seconds that decide nations. Air defense steps into a new domain. But speed alone is not the final ceiling of power. At number 2, Lahat Alpha Extended Range variant returns with refinement instead of reinvention. The tension sharpens because familiarity breeds deadlier efficiency. This system is an anti-tank missile built to dominate standoff engagements. Its reach holds at 12.4 miles, keeping armor permanently exposed. Solid rocket propulsion delivers supersonic flight without delay. Velocity surges near 1,243 miles per hour, leaving no counterplay. The 6.6 feet body preserves portability across launch platforms. Unveiled in 2025, it reflects lessons hardened by modern conflict. An estimated cost of $50,000 enables mass precision. The standout feature is consistency across terrain and conditions. Another is how reliability becomes tactical dominance. Imagine armored units freezing as launch vectors multiply beyond sight. This is the rehook where refinement proves more dangerous than novelty. Precision repetition overwhelms defense. Does survivability exist when exposure is constant? Strategically, this missile denies maneuver, not territory. The emotional toll is inevitability inside steel hulls. Commanders must rethink armor doctrine. Movement itself becomes risk, and yet even ground dominance bows to threats from space. And at number 1, Arrow 4 stands as an air defense interceptor built for the highest tier of threat. The opening shock is scale because this fight begins far beyond the battlefield. This system exists to stop attacks before they ever approach population centers. Its interception envelope reaches an estimated 932 miles into near space. Solid rocket propulsion drives rapid ascent and maneuver. Top speed approaches 5,592 miles per hour, closing extreme distances. The estimated length of 23 feet balances reach with precision control. Development revealed in 2021 signaled long-term strategic intent. An estimated unit cost of $3 million reframes national defense economics. The standout feature is exo-atmospheric interception capability. Another is layered integration with existing defense networks. Picture a long-range missile neutralized before re-entry calculations finish. This final rehook is where defense protects sovereignty itself. Entire regions breathe under invisible cover. Does security redefine power when cities become unreachable? Strategically, this system anchors deterrence credibility. The emotional impact is survival without retaliation. History shifts when first strike loses meaning. Future warfare stretches upward, not outward, and what comes next will decide the balance of the skies. These systems aren't just upgrades, they redefine deterrence, speed, and survival, signaling how future wars may be decided before shots are heard. Subscribe, like, share, and comment your take, and watch. Top 15 Weapons at China 2025 Military Parade Explained. Get the link from description or above to continue dive watching.